Hi, everyone, and welcome to HTML, the first session of a three-session class offered to you by the Clifton Park Half Moon Library. Let's get right started. All right, HTML, a little introduction to begin with. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it is the building block of all web pages that are out there right now on the internet. HTML being the building blocks, another language called CSS, Cascading Style Sheets, is basically the way to beautify your HTML pages. And then you have JavaScript, which is the way to make your pages interactive and dynamic. Today's class will be an introduction to HTML. And like I said before, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It describes the structure of a web page. It consists of a series of elements that allow the web browser to display the content of your web page. That's it. HTML elements are represented by tags. So you have an opening tag and a closing tag for each element. HTML tags they label pieces of content such as heading, paragraphs, tables, and so on. And web browsers such as Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, they don't display the HTML tags, but they use them to render the content of the page. So the way to create HTML pages or programs is to enter them into a text editor. And today's class, we're going to be using Notepad, which is on every Windows computer. And if you look to the right of the screen, you can see the instructions on how to open up Notepad. So for Windows 8 or later, you want to open the Start screen, which is in the lower left-hand corner of the window. You type in Notepad. You can do a search and just type in Notepad, and it'll bring it up, and you can open up Notepad. If you look on the left side of my screen, you'll notice I have Notepad up and ready to be run. So Windows 7 or earlier, you want to go to open Start, which is in the lower left-hand corner, and click on Programs, click on Accessories, and then click on Notepad, and it'll open it up for you. For those people who have a Mac, you go and you open up the Finder, and then click on Applications, and then you click on something called Text Edit, which is Mac's version of Notepad. All right. Okay, so let's get started and actually create a file. That's it. So I'm going to show you how to create an HTML file through Notepad, and I'll show you how to view the HTML file once you create it in a web browser. And then I'll show you how to set up your HTML file with some default HTML code to allow it to work properly. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create a folder for my projects on my computer's hard drive. So I'm going to create a folder that I can put all my HTML files in. So to do that, you go to Windows Explorer, which in using a Windows computer, you would right-click on the Start, and then click on File Explorer, and then create a folder called My Website, or whatever you want to call it. You can use your name, or you can call it HTML. But this will be the folder where I want you to put all your HTML programs in, or any images that we're going to be using. Next, go into the text editor, Notepad, and in the upper left-hand corner, you want to click on File, and click on Save As. And we're going to, first of all, I'll create a folder. And so I go into my C drive, and I have my website already created. I'll double click on that, and then I'm going to create, under file name, I'm going to be creating a file called index.html. And if you see below the file name, you have Save As type. With Notepad, it's always going to default to a .txt file. And that's not going to work for us while we're trying to learn HTML. So click on the drop down and click All Files. And so for the file name, I have index.html, and you want to make sure the extension is .html. And I save it. All right, HTML will resist, so I'm going to replace it. I'll say yes. All right, and I've typed into Notepad, I've typed welcome to HTML. All right, so next, go into if you go into Windows Explorer, by right-clicking the lower left-hand corner, and I do File Explorer, not Windows Explorer. So File Explorer, and then I go to where my website folder is, and there I've got index. And you can either double-click on index.html, or you can right-click on it and choose Open. And you can click right-click, then choose Open, and it shows Chrome for the web browser for it to open in. And when I open it up, you can see you have Welcome to HTML. All right, so that's my web browser. And if you look over to the left-hand side, back to Notepad, what I typed into my HTML file is displayed in the browser, Welcome to HTML. So it's that simple to just create a file in Notepad and then save it as a .html file, and then go out to a web browser or go out to the File Explorer and then double click on it to open it up, and it'll open up in the browser of your choice. And that's all there is to it, to create an HTML file and to run it and have it displayed in a web browser. All right, so in HTML, each HTML has a basic template section. So these are basic tags that have to be part of every HTML web page that you create. Okay. The first tag is called Doctype, and this lets the computer know. It tells the browser what type of document this is going to be, and in this case, it's going to be an HTML file. So I enter a less than sign, and then an exclamation point, and then capital DOCTYPE, and then a greater than sign. All right, so there's your first, oh, I'm sorry, not greater than sign. And then you have to put a lowercase HTML to tell it what language you want the browser to read. all right? And then the greater than sign. So that's the first tag that goes at the top of every HTML page. And it's telling the web browser, hey, this document type is HTML. So hit enter. And then next we have a container. We have container tags. These are pairs of tags that have an open tag and a closing tag. Some tags, not too many of them, are single tags where there is no opening and closing tag. It's just one tag. But in this case, the HTML tags are container tags, so there's a pair of them. So I'll show you how to do an open tag, which is less than sign HTML, and then a greater than sign. And then at the bottom of your program, you're going to put the closing tag, which is less than, and then / HTML, and then the greater than sign. And all your content, all your other tags are going to be inside of these open and closed HTML tags. And with HTML and just like any programming language, it's very important that you indent to show hierarchy and to show. It just makes your code so much more readable when you make sure you indent. With HTML, you don't have to indent, but as a good general practice, you want to indent your code. So these open and closed HTML tags, the other tags are going to be indented inside of them. All right, the next two tags that we're going to be using, so I'll indent. And first we're going to have the head tag. And I'll put a closing head tag in here. All right, and inside the head tag are going to be things that describe the document and aren't related to content. Okay, so the next tags are the body tags, and this is where all the content information goes. So close out the body tag. All right. Okay. So the web browser is going to go through all these HTML tags, and they're going to decipher how the information should be displayed out on the web browser to the public through the internet. And you notice I indented the head tags and the body tag. It just makes things so much more readable and understandable. And at this point, what you see in my notepad HTML file is your basic template for every HTML web page. All right, so what we can do now is do a save as. Actually, before we save this as the template, inside the head tags, I want to add a title tag. So I indent inside the head tags, and I call it title. So there's my opening title tag. And then I'm going to just put a little content. I'll put first web page. And then I'll do a closing title tag. All right. And inside the body tag, I'm just going to put a little information. So how about I'll just type in hello there. And so just while I'm going through these things, that you're at home, I hope you're going into Notepad and you're typing in the same things just for practice. The repetition is gonna help you learn so much. So follow along while I'm typing. You type in the similar things, okay? All right. So this file is index.html. All right. So now I'm going to do a file. In Notepad, I'm going to click on File. I'm going to click on Save. All right. So let's run this program. So I'll right click. I'll go to File Explorer, and I'll go to My Website folder, and I'm just going to double click on index.html, and then in the browser it displays hello there. Now, one thing you might, I don't know if you noticed, I don't know if you can see it here, but so in the body, let me get rid of Notepad. So in the body, we have hello there, right? So that's going to display that content, whatever's in the body. In the head section, we added a title first web page, and that produces a title in the web browser that says first web page. Remember, what goes inside the head tags is not content. It's not going to be displayed by the web browser, but it will give it a title on top. So I'll go back here. All right. Okay. So next, I've got my file here. What I want you to do is I'm going to bring up a little exercise for you. Okay? And I want you to just, I'm displaying the exercise right now in the class, but what you can do is just pause the video, and the exercises will all be included in Google Classroom. So when you register with the library to sign up for the class, you'll be able to go out to Google Classroom and do all these exercises as you're watching the video, okay? So you can pause the video here, go out to Google Classroom, do this assignment. The first exercise is called HTML template. And so at this point, you'd want to pause the video, all right? Because I am going to do the exercise. Okay. So in Notepad, let me move this over. So I'm going to go into Notepad, click on File in the upper left-hand corner, click on New, And I've got a nice fresh blank screen. And what I'm going to do is on the right-hand side, I've got the HTML template exercise. So I'm going to do that. So the exercise says open a new screen in Notepad, click on File, New File, create the document type tag, and use HTML as the language. So the very first tag we're going to put in is lesson sign, exclamation point, DOCTYPE, space, and then lowercase HTML is the language we're going to use, and then the greater than sign. Hit enter. The very next tag is going to be, it says inside, and then do an open and close HTML tag. So I'll do lesson sign, HTML, greater than sign, and then I'll hit enter a few times to give myself some space, and then I'm going to do a closing HTML tag. All right, and then up above, and it says inside the HTML tags, add the open and close head tags. All right, so I'm going to indent, and I'll do greater than or less than head, greater than, less than head. I'm running out of space here, so I'm going to back up a little bit. I'll do okay, and then it says inside the head tags, add an open and close title tag. So I'll indent inside the head tag. I'll type less than, and I'll do title, greater than, and then I'll do the closing title tag. And the next bullet on the right-hand side says, inside the title tags, add the text, my HTML template. So my HTML template. All right, there. Let's see. Inside the HTML tags, add the open and close body tags. Remember, body is at the same level as the head tags. So body goes here, indented the same amount. Body. All right. What else we got? Inside the body tags, add the open and close P tags. And P stands for paragraph. So I'll indent inside the body tag, and I will do P, enter, and I'll do a closing P tag, all right? And inside the P tags, I want to add the text HTML class online. So actually, I'll put it up here, HTML class online. And I'll do a closing tag, closing P tag, and I'll get rid of the closing P tag down here. All right, and that is it. Over to the right, it says save the file. Click File, Save, your folder name, and then the name template.html. And what I'm going to do is get rid of some of the space here with this HTML tag, the closing tag. So I want to go to File, Save, and I'm already out in my website folder. And this time I'm going to make sure you change the save as type to all files. Don't let it be .txt because it doesn't work. And I'm calling this file template.html. Click Save. And then I want to, out in File Explorer, you just click File Explorer. There it is. I'll go out to my website folder, and then you can see I've got my index.html file, and now I've got a template.html file. I'm going to double click on template.html, and I have HTML class online. But now you have a template file that you can always bring up and just add things to. So now you have a skeleton for your HTML pages in this template file. So just use that with all the other exercises, unless you want to type it over again, just to really get practice into entering the skeleton. So the next session that we'll be working on are basic tags. Okay, in the basic tag section, we are going to cover all the great tags that go inside the head and the body tag sections, and that allow you to create and display a web page through your browser. The first set of tags are the meta tags. All right, so meta is a meta tag is a tag that defines information about our file. All right, and it would look something like this. So it would be lesson sign, meta, char set equals, double quotes, UTF -8, and then a lesson sign, or the greater than sign. All right, that's telling telling the web browser that your file is going to have a character set that is UTF-8, which is the most standard character set. And then the next meta tag is going to be the meta name. It's going to be the description. So let's see, we would do lesson sign, meta name equals, double quotes, and it'd be description so that's the meta name, and then we would have the space, and then we would do content equals, double quotes, and then just put in some content. This is an awesome website, double quotes, and I'll expand my screen, and the greater than sign to close out the tag. Oops. All right. So this meta tag gives a description to our website. All right. So the name was description. The content is, this is an awesome website. So that was my description. All right. So while we're working with the meta tags, I want to describe the attribute concept. All right, each HTML tag has its own attributes. Also, attributes are also called properties. And so the format of HTML attributes is the attribute name equals a value. So if we look up at the meta tag, we have an attribute called name, and then I used the equal sign, and I gave it a value of description, which you put in double quotes. The next attribute for the meta tag is content, and I used the equal sign. I gave it a value of, this is an awesome website. And you can put whatever content you want in there to describe the website that you're creating. All right, so through all the HTML tags that we're going to be talking about, they all have attributes that you can add, attributes or otherwise called properties that you can add to allow those tags to do even more things, right? Okay, so now let's move down to working with tags and go into the body section, the section that actually displays information on your web page. Remember, these are the tags that will display the content of your web page, and they go into the body section. The first set of tags that we're going to be working with are the headings tag. And these are less than H1 all the way to H6. All right? So it'd be H1, and then it'd be closing tag for H1. Now H1 has the largest font size, all the way down to H6, which has the smallest font size. All right, so when you want to create a heading that's really bold, that stands out, you want to use an H1. If you want to just have a small subsection heading, then maybe use an H5 or an H6. All right. Now I want you to pause the video at this point. Go into Google Classroom, and I want you to work on HTML heading tag. That's the name of the document. So bring that up, and then come back to the video, and we'll go over it. All right, let's go over the headings tag exercise. And as you can see off to the right, here's the exercise laid out. And what we want to do is first, the first bullet says go into Notepad, click on File, Open File. So I'll do File, Open File. And then you want to open up that template.html file that we created previously. So I have to go out to my folder, which is my website. You might have called it something else. Now remember, we don't want text documents, right? We want all files, which will allow us to see the HTML files. And you want to open up the template file. Okay, so now we have a nice template, right? We have a nice skeleton. And what we're going to do is, now we have to do a save as, because we're going to call this file, we want to be able to reuse the template file for other exercises. So we don't want to mess with this file. We just want to bring it up and save it, do a save as. So do File, Save As, and we're going to call this one, remember to change that Save As type. And we're going to call this one headings.html. Okay, hit enter. All right, so now we're working with the headings.html file. Now I'm going to take out this paragraph tag, and I'll give it a little more space. All right, a lot more space. All right, so inside the body tag, we are going to, let's see, way down here, what are we doing? We're going to add an H1 heading with the text. This is heading 1. So I will do a H1 heading. So this is just practice, H1. And I'll close it out. And I'll say this is heading 1. And then I'll do a closing H1 tag. Oops. Okay, all right. And then I want you to do the same thing for H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste this. And then I'll change the numbers. All right, so now I have 6 of them. And I just have to change these numbers. All right, so those are all done. So the last 2 bullets in the exercise say save the program to your folder as heading.html. So we just have to do a save because we've already done the save as. Then we want to run the file called heading.html. And the way to do this is down in the bottom left-hand corner, you do right click and you click on File Explorer. Go into your folder, click on headings.html, and it'll open up in the Chrome web browser. And there it is. So if you look off to the right, I opened up my file called heading.html in the web browser, and it says, oh, I didn't change a couple of things. So let me redo that. Okay, I made the correction. So now, if you look at on the right side, you can see my file being displayed through the web browser. All right, so I have this is heading 1. So the very top one that's being displayed is a heading H1 tag. And you can see the difference in size from the first H1 tag on the top to an H6 tag on the bottom. It's not very big, the 6, the 5, even the 4. All right, so that's the heading tags. So next, we're going to talk about paragraph tags. So HTML paragraphs are defined with a P tag. The cool thing about P tags is that they sort of auto-format the content inside of them, as far as with spacing and just how they're going to be displayed correctly through the web browser. In general, whenever you are writing text, you are going to want to use the paragraph tags. Styling your content inside the paragraph tags or anywhere you have text on your page is what we're going to talk about next. All right, so this is styles, formatting inside the content inside of paragraph tags. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a brand new session. All right, so the tags we're talking about are the P tags. So it's less than sign, greater than P, and then greater than sign. And then I'm going to put content inside these tags. So here's the closing P tag. And now inside of it, we are going to add some content. That's too big. All right, so hi and welcome to Welcome to HTML class. All right, so there's my content. And first I want to tell you about the bold, the B tag, the bold tag. So I'm going to make HTML bold. All right, so I put a less than sign, B greater than sign. And then I'll surround the word HTML with the bold tags. So I'll do a closing bold tag. All right, that'll make the HTML bold. The next tag is an I tag, which will make a word and content italicized. So I'm going to make hi and italics. All right, so I would surround those two words with the I tag. And now I want to talk about big. So I'll do another line. How about offered by the Clifton Park. Oops. Park Library. All right, so now I want to tell you about the big tag and the small tag. All right, so I want to make the word offered small, and you just use the small tag. So small offered. You have to close the tag out, and then I want to make Clifton Park Library big. So I'll surround those three words with the big tags. All right, and then, so we're talking about bold tag, a B tag, italicized tag. There's an I tag. We're talking about a small tag, and we're talking about a big tag. And now I want to talk about sub and super. All right, so say you had a word like you wanted to display H2O. And you want the two to be shrunken down, like subscripted. So what you have to do is do the sub tag. Oops. All right. So just surround that two with a sub tag. And it'll be written the way it's written in like the periodic table. Okay. And if you want to have something that is superscripted, meaning raised up, so say you wanted to display the number 10 squared, right? So you want that number 2 to be superscripted. So you just use the super tag. All right. Now, if I wanted to have a line break, right? If I had a line like, hello, oops, hello, my name is with HTML. So if I wanted these two lines to be displayed this way, where hello, my name is Shad is on the first line and I'm working with HTML on the second line, if I don't use a BR tag, a break tag, then it would be displayed through the browser as all on one line. So that's where the BR tag comes in. And what you can do is just pop in a BR. A BR tag will, now a BR tag is a single tag. It's not a container tag, so it doesn't have an open and closing tag. So the way to do single tags is to simply so the BR tag is $sign. To display a single tag, you just you would do BR and then the / and then the greater than sign, and that would add a single line. All right, it does one line break. So if I wanted more lines to be broken, then I would just add another one, and so on and so on. All right. Now, say I wanted to add a horizontal line straight across the page in between hello, my name is Shad and I'm working with HTML. Then we have a single tag, just like the BR tag, called HR, which is horizontal rule. And you would just put it there. And that will add a line across here, dividing these two lines. Hello, my name is Shad and I'm working with HTML. And the final thing I want to talk about as far as styling the paragraph content is ampersand MBSP, which is it creates a single space on your page. So if I wrote I love the library and added 3 spaces, a lot. When the web browser runs your file, these 3 spaces right here in between library and A are not going to be displayed. So it would be displayed like this. Just a single space in between words. So if I want 3 spaces in between library and A, then I can use the ampersand and MBSP. And I can do that multiple times. Oops. To get my 3 spaces. Oops. Come back here. All right, so by adding these MBSPs, I've created, now the browser will display 3 spaces after the word library and before the word A. All right, so that's it for the styling. These are some of the most basic tags that everybody uses. And so I want you to pause the video now, and I want you to go to, out in Google Classroom, I want you to go to the exercise, what is it? The exercise paragraph.html. All right, so now that you've done the exercise, why don't we go over how it should be done, just in case you need some answers. All right, so we are going to, first we're going to open, we're going to click on File, Open File. We're going to bring up the template file again. You don't have to save this. Go out to your folder. And we're going to open up the template file. Now we're going to do a save as. So file, save as. Go to your folder again. Make sure that the save as type is all files and not the text document. And we're going to call this paragraph.html. And save it. All right, so now if you look up on top in Notepad, you have paragraph. So it's the paragraph HTML file, not the template file. All right, so we have our nice skeleton here. And everything's going to be added inside the body, right? And we have a nice P tag already displayed. So the first thing to do is add a P tag with the text HTML is great. So HTML is great. Then the next bullet says make the word HTML bold using the B tag. All right, so that's easy to do, right? Just surround the word HTML with the B tag, and that will be bold. All right, the next one, make the word great italicized using the I tag. So here's great, and I'll make that italicized. All right, I'm gonna make this bigger. All right, add the P tag with the text. This is another paragraph. All right. This is another paragraph. Oops. All right. And then inside this paragraph, make the word this bigger with the big tag. So this is going to be big. What's next? Make the word paragraph smaller with the small tag. All right. Small. Small. All right. What's next? Add a HR tag to add a horizontal line in between. In between where? In between the two paragraphs, okay? So, right here, we would add an HR, and remember this is a single tag, so we have to put the slash at the end. And that'll give us an HR tag. Now, it says add the following paragraph, which I'm just going to copy. Right here. Copy that. Put this here. Right. So now with this paragraph, we want the web browser to display 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, but it won't unless we add the BR tag. So I'm going to add the BR tag to do a line break. Remember, BR tags are single tags, so they have the slash at the end. BR and BR. BR. And that's it. Okay, and let's see. The last thing to do is to add spaces. All right, so I'm going to copy this paragraph. And see how after the word contains, you have probably 4 or 5 spaces. After the word source, you have a bunch of spaces. And then after the word the. And none of these spaces will be displayed, only a single space in between words. So what you want to do is you want to use the ampersand NBSP tag, or not tag, but to add a space. So NBSP, and you can just copy that a bunch of times. All right. And you would do the same down here after source and the same down here after the. All right. Each one of these ampersand NPSPs are a single space. So now we're ready to save our program. So if you click File and Save, then go out to File Explorer. And double click on paragraph HTML. And that'll open it up in the browser. And we have this is bold, or HTML is bold. If you look on the top. The word great is italicized. What else do we have? We have this is big, and paragraph is small. And then we fixed this broken paragraph by adding BR tags. We have line breaks after paragraph, after lines, after code, after browser. And then the last thing, back up here too, we added the HR tag, which put a horizontal line in between the first paragraph and the second paragraph. And then the very last thing at the bottom here, we added incorrectly, I'm sorry, it's NBSP. NBSP. So sorry about that. So the single space, the ampersand, it should be NBSP. So I corrected my code. And so if we look at this bottom paragraph, now I have 3 spaces. I've added 3 ampersand MBSPs after the word contains, and it's added 3 space after it contains and before the word a. So that's how the web browser can add a single space, just like using the BR tag adds a line break. All right. So now let's move on to, I want to talk briefly about comments in HTML. All right, so comments, the comment tags are, comments are little pieces of text inside of your HTML that are ignored by the web browser and are used by yourself or other programmers to read and to understand what's going on in the program. All right, so the format of the comment tags are as follows. So I'm gonna, if you look to the left in Notepad, I've got this last paragraph that I'm gonna comment it out because it's pretty messy. So what you do is you do the lesson sign, exclamation point, hyphen, hyphen. And to comment out all these lines, I'm going to, at the bottom of the paragraph, I'm going to do hyphen, hyphen, greater than. And that will comment out all these lines, this whole paragraph. And what I'll do is I'll run it. I'll do a save. And I will run this paragraph file. And then if you look at the web browser, that brings up my paragraph.html file. I've just commented out a paragraph that should be on the bottom here, but you don't see it anymore. Another good thing to do is to just make notes. Well, if you learn HTML and you learn how to use the tags wisely and you use indentation, notice in my program, I've got the Doctype on top, then HTML tags go right underneath it, but then everything is sort of indented inside of each other, right? It's a hierarchical system. And so like the head tags are indented inside the HTML tag, the title tag's indented inside the head tag. And it makes when you indent, it makes your program so much more readable. But comments can help a lot too. So I can put a comment right here describing what's in the body tag. So say I want to do, so I'll add a comment, hyphen, hyphen. This is my body tag section. And then I would do hyphen, hyphen, greater than sign. And so when I run my program, so I'll do a file, save, and then I will run the program again. Look over on the right, and you'll see the browser. That comment, this is my body tag section, does not show up, right? That's just for the programmer's use. The web browser doesn't do anything with comments, all right? So that's how you do comments. You can do a single line like I did here with the comment, this is my body tag section, or you can comment whole sessions of code. Another purpose of using the comment tag is that besides making your programs readable, is say you've added some code, like I added this paragraph section, right? But things aren't working out. So I'm going to just comment. I don't want to delete my code out of here. I still want this paragraph section, but I just want to delete it for now, and then I'll run it and see how the web browser displays it. All right. So comments are also good for commenting out sections of your code to be able to debug and test. So that's a wrap for this session of the 3-session HTML class. Thanks for joining me, and our next class, our next session will include things like style attributes, format tags to be able to format your web page, unordered lists, ordered lists, tables, and the div container tags. So anyway, thanks again for joining me, and I will see you next time. And don't forget to go out to Google Classroom to do the exercises that are available to you. And thank you.